Hello, everyone. I'm Dave March, the Spy Guy, and sorry to kind of spin around like that. That's a habit of mine. So on this show, I want to first thank the Want Show for subscribing to the channel. You're bringing me up to 31. It's great. I was like at 15 a few weeks ago and starting steadily get people who know me from other things coming on and hitting the subscribe button, and it helps. It makes me feel good about myself to know that someone's and is watching and listening and hearing what I have to say. So in my last update video, I kind of brought it out like a top secret, a, a role-playing game from the 80s called Top Secret, and I was talking about one of their supplements, and I thought that I should do a series on the game itself. And I want to admit that I never really got it, despite the fact that I own a bunch of the books. I just never had a chance to really play with the solid mechanics. So I'm going to look at a couple. There's a review online that I saw and use it to kind of help things out. But really, here's the original box set that the game came through. I'm sorry, green screen is kind of weird. Aha, there we go. And like back in the day, box sets were like for games like this is $20, and you got a lot of stuff in it for that your benefit. So here we go. We got like the first thing I found here is look at that name. Sorry, green screen. Aha. Yeah, that's the name. Operation Spretzenstyle, or codename Pisces. And it's a module, but look at this. Like, do not accept from courier if seal is broken. Agency courier is required by law to demand proof of security clearance by senior card 7006. This file cannot be relinquished without such positive proof of identity and clearance. And this was like the introductory module. And it also came in like a folder with the maps. And like just kind of modules, these things. Oh, here. Examination or possession by this file by an unauthorized person is a criminal offense punishable by imprisonment and fines up to 20 years and 50 grand. And I mean, it's an introductory game module. You could use the outline as a GM screen if that was your thing. Here's the module itself. There's a lot of text here, notes for the administrator, the background, computing experience, stats, player's background sheet, like a briefing, code phrase. Here, code phrase glossary. A boat or boat ride, method of departure from the Stel via submarine, which docks at submarine lagoon number 44 below street level. Fish. Refugees are defectors from the east. Refugees are known as small fry and are kept in the fish warehouse basement. Defectors are known as the big fish. Oz, or Wizard of Oz. He's located at the Mission House, 43 at street level, and operates a $10,000 all-wave radio receiver scanner. Because the cost, I guess, was important if you wanted to later sell the radio. Or object target, they've got a list of targets here, stuff that you can get. Special note, even though 34 object targets are listed here, only between 15 to 20 of them should actually be placed in the environment by the administrator. The administrator was the game master of that time period for this game. Master list of potential characters by Merle S.M. Rasmussen. TSR Games, 1980. Oof. I was 3, maybe 2 at the time. You come was it the Administrator's Guide? The Administrator's Guide had like there's a game how to run a gameman. So an introduction telling you how to run it. Here comes the judge. Your hour upon the stage, like lots of information on how to be a game master. The font of knowledge. Player help and research. If you're stumped, make something up. Oh, like nowadays, people will just go to Google. The master storyteller, understanding your player's story structure, story elements, story design techniques for game, using events to move your story. Your campaign, then a dossier, an administrative dossier web, and administrative dossier Orion. And that was the thing about this game. So Orion is this kind of man from Uncle-like agency where the players are all belong to, and they can go off and do things like that. And the web was, of course, the bad guy terrorist organization. So I'll just go look those two things up here. So first off, the web. The web is a worldwide organization promoting crime, terrorism, and revolution. It employs these three tools to generate profit, destabilize governments and international relationships, and gain political power for itself and its top operatives. The web has infiltrated most of the major espionage networks in the world, and its intelligence and counterintelligence capabilities are extensive. Espionage activities are part of its daily routine. The organization also has influence on a number of governments throughout the world. Two nations are known to be run by directors of the web: a Balkan nation securely behind the Iron Curtain, and a right-wing Latin American dictatorship. I guess the Balkan nation securely behind the Iron Curtain, or what we would call left-wing dictatorship. Many other countries, including Asian states on both sides of the political coin, several Middle Eastern countries and others in Central and South America, are under the influence of the web. Though it's seemingly free of web influence, all the world's major powers, including the US, etc., and Germany, are home to branches of the web. The organization has infiltrated the society, government, and financial centers of the nations to a greater or lesser degree. They come out of the First World War and basically have been around for years trying to enrich and gather power to themselves. And that's their kind of thing. And then, of course, you have the Orion group. In all the world, only one organization, the Orion Foundation, stands between the web and its ultimate goal of world subjugation. This agency comprised of courageous and dedicated professionals struggles to thwart the schemes and machinations of the web. The operatives of this organization, few in number, have learned of the existence and nature of the web and have dedicated their lives to combating it. They are a diverse and multi-talented group of agencies hailing from nearly every nation in the world. And that's something you got to realize. Back in the 70s and 80s, like, there would be these TV shows and movies about not dealing with the CIA or that they would have secret organizations that would be, or semi-secret organizations like the Knight Foundation from Knight Rider, and other shows and examples of Man from U.N.C.L.E. And they'd be up against nefarious groups, and Man from U.N.C.L.E. is Thrush, and I can't even give you what that acronym stands for, but I believe the first word is terrorist. Yeah, so basically the Orion Foundation is like this private organization, have operations around the world, and you join up with them as your character to thwart the machinations of the web. Glossary of espionage. Then at the back, there's a glossary of espionage-related terms, including agent and just kind of giving you guys, and it goes on for like 4 or 5 pages. And then how to convert your old top secret character to the new game. Then the next book I have here that came with this, Priority 1. It's the Player's Guide. And they introduced all the games like this are rolled with dice, 6-sided, 4-sided, 20-sided, 8-sided, 10-sided. They don't allow 12-sided, bastards. The 12-sided dice are the most maligned and misunderstood dice of them all. Only more obscure is the D30, which I have some around here. I use them for initiative rolls mainly. And by initiative, I mean, like, when I'm running a game, I'll have my GM screen up, and I'll have like dice spreader. Like when I roll initiative, I'll put the counter, use my D30s as a counter to show, because they can go up to, like, some people might have initiative 29. In my last Pathfinder campaign, we had guys with running around, so they could roll like a 32, and you'd be like, damn, I got to put a 6-sided dice against that just to show the number. So yeah, in this game, introduction, description of things. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. They have something called D60s. Just let me roll over here. Oh, I'm so far away. And I'm back. So they had something called D60 for when rolling your stats for the game. And it was like you rolled a 6-sided dice and a 10-sided dice. And you give me a range from 10 to 69, I guess. And you could then drop another 10 points on top of that to show how awesome your character was. And I'm just going to take a drink because I've been talking a bit. And yeah, so apparently very popular right now. So yeah, character generation, advantages and disadvantages, various careers, packages that you could make your character around, combat, and rules for combat, vehicle rules, survival and improvement, healing, luck points. So I was looking at a review online, and I'll mention the reviewer. Modusoperandi.co.uk, their top secret SI review by Dave McAllister. I'll have to put a link in when I do upload this to YouTube. Okay, yeah, your character, like you're rolling the dice there. There's some, you would roll your dice. Then you would have secondary attributes, movement and dexterity were calculated using average of the main dice roll, strength and reflexes to get movement, reflex and intelligence to get dexterity. Player could also customize his character with advantages such as athletic ability, photographic memory, and wealth, and disadvantages including allergy, color blindness, blah, blah, blah. As long as the point total of the former equaled the point total of the latter. So it is a point buy game. Finally, the player had to decide whether his character could be coming. Oh, you also had there's optional rules for developing a psychological profile for the character with 6 subsets, and it's cruelty, loyalty, passion, piety, sanity, and selfishness. And choose one of the descriptive words: none, low, some, high, and total to describe the character's attitudes towards other people and toward life in general. So you can help customize your character that way. You then would choose from a series of 5 career packages: military, professional, worker, entertainer, and other. And other was kind of like for if you want to be a rich playboy to an unlucky hobo. And later, other supplements, which we'll be covering in separate videos, we'll be getting talking about that, those other packages. Once a career was chosen, the player got down to the gritty task of acquiring skills. Each skill had varying levels of cost. The more complex the skill, the more it cost. They were also split down the levels, 6 in total, 0 through 5. Skills were bought using the skill points, and each level above 0 enabled the player to add 5% to the chance of a success or an action. Once all the skill points were spent, the character was nearly completed. The only thing left to do is write a background for him or her. I don't think the backgrounds back then were very sophisticated, but I remember when I first joined multiple universe shared hallucination games on the early days of the internet, and people would want like 5-page backgrounds to go dealing everything, and of course, no one was reading them. But maybe you've so you got you to work on your writing skills. Lucky or bad breaks resulting in either an exceptional or success or spectacular failure. Basically, you had something called luck dice and luck points. The GM got to roll them in secret, so maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, maybe they could fudge them for you, but you didn't necessarily know your total. You did know your total, and you could get like it was like critical success or critical failure. So the storyteller could roll these and give you the results. Back then, they didn't have very much detailed combat encounters. Certainly for this game, maybe in like I don't know, Middle Earth role play, in which I hear was like roll on the critical fumble table and you severed your own arm. What the hell? So there was a bunch of supplements and scenarios. So I just kind of described the player's guide, and I got this at an old back when we used to like do GM sales. So there's a guy here. He was doing like some character stuff here for D&D. But I mean, like, I guess he was working for a security company, so it was like figuring out how he could what he could spend. So I got a budget here. He's making $15 an hour. Oh wow, look at that. I got a spell list here. Ooh, you could tell this guy definitely rolled these things. He's got like his strength was 8. I got like a list of spells here. Sorry. His ninjibu 11th level. Magic items of power. Book of arch magical knowledge. Book of ninjutsu master knowledge. Book of spells. Book of technological benefit, book of characteristic benefit, which is of course how he got his strength 3, intelligence 3, wisdom 2, dex 4, all his traits up to mean nothing. Another list of spells, like here's his final character. Oh, I got strength 1861, because we're back at once upon a time when you rolled strength, you were a fighter, you got to roll strength again, a percentile dice, and add that to your total. Int of 18, a wisdom of 12, a dex of 18, a con of 16, a charisma of 18, and of course a comeliness of 18. Comeliness was like this, like charisma, your social ability, and your comeliness was raw beauty. And then I got more budget sheets here for this guy, whoever that guy was. Another thing, an actual Game Master screen. So it's pretty good. It's got like the character creation summary on the front, like what are the modifiers, and then a crash table for driving check modifiers, so the players could review that information. It has a chase flow chart. Once again, the modifiers is there for the Game Master. And oh wow, look at that! A speed acceleration conversion, which is like 450 feet a turn, turns into 45 inches turn. So I go ahead and guess an inch scale map. Weapon anti-vehicle ratings, crash table, all good stuff. Then we have, it came with a equipment inventory book. So grenades, blowguns, there's like lots of character sheets in these things, because back then we didn't have the ability to just go online and print off all their stuff. You would be lucky to get to the photocopier. And then it also came with like a settings and scenarios book. So there's 11 scenarios here, kind of giving you ideas of what you need to do. Tramp Steam, some of them are a bit more. Operation Arrowhead by Doug Niles, who's of course done a bunch of stuff. Mentex Technologies Corporation, so there's just small scenarios for players to go to. I do love these things. Terrorist, please report to the information decks. Home is where the guns are. LA, we love it. The White Hotels, sometimes they're not so clever. Weaver and Sons Storage and Mass Destruction. Boom with a view. Open up that golden gate. Also has a nice, like, here's kind of neat. This is like a blueprints. And it comes with like offices. It's double-sided too, so that's nice. Offices, hotels, a restaurant, residence, so you could put down your guys on the map. And then there's like an airport and a tramp steamer and a train car. These are kind of neat. What else do we got here? And then like little cardstock for you to cut out and use on the map that I just showed you. And they got cars and a helicopter and like generic the goons and soldiers and spies for your viewing pleasure. And then at the last thing, some sort of newsletter offer. And Join the Crusade, a Get the Dragon or Dungeon magazine articles. Dungeon, that was a great magazine. I still have most of my magazines for that. And then an amazing flyer. So that's pretty cool. And that's Top Secret SI, kind of in a nutshell. We'll be getting into I'll be talking later videos about the modules and how they worked and some of the neat things they ended up doing. They had something called freelancers, which I have some of the supplements for. I think I have the web book around here. I got multiple books around here just to give you guys an idea. So what can I say? I really never got a chance to play it. And it's just one of those games I just don't think people will be playing anytime soon for me. But like, that's a lot of stuff in here and a lot of information. And like, if you have a chance, pick it up and maybe give yourself a night of a high adventure playing spies, fighting trying to defeat the web, just like your father's favorite shows. Okay, well, that's I just wanted to start getting some videos and getting more content out here so people can start seeing that I'm doing stuff. So if you want to see more and like this, like, share, subscribe. I'm working on some stuff. Steph is trying to help me get an introductory video going and trying to do just give some more improvements for the page. I have intentions of doing a review of the television show La Revolution on Netflix. It's a pretty good show. It's all about zombie apocalypse during the French Revolution. How's that? Well, is that not a great tagline? So I'll be doing that hopefully sometime, either maybe today or tomorrow or sometime in the future of the week. But I just wanted to start doing stuff, and here you go. A review of Top Secret SI. Okay, or description, a box opening of Top Secret SI. That's a better one, description, because I don't really have a way to really review it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I've been Dave Murch, the Spy Guy.